written in the stars. Woohoo! Check this out.
I have Mualani, and I want to talk about her because I think she's actually really cool. I've talked about Mualani in the past, namely in her relationship to Aloy teams. Spoiler, she doesn't have any. But now I want to talk about her just by herself because I think she's actually really cool. But first, I just want to remind everyone that 94% of y'all haven't actually subscribed to this channel. So, you know, maybe do it. Doesn't really hurt you to do so. And it gives me a serotonin boost in the morning, so we do like that. Initially, I didn't think that Mualani was going to be terribly interesting. I figured she would be really, really cool, and that's basically it. She'd probably be a DPS. It kind of is what it is. We kind of just move on from there. But you know what? She's actually really grown on me, and I've become somewhat enamored by her personality. In fact, I've been enamored a lot by her very goofy personality when she has the opportunity to be pretty damn goofy. And I think this is really highlighted as well by the dichotomy of just her role in the Genshin story, because on the one hand, she has a really, really serious part to play in the Pyro Archon's plan to defeat the Abyss and save all of Natlan. But then on the other hand as well, she's recommending floaters to people at her own surf shop at the People of the Springs. It's like, on the one hand, oh my god, you have a really important role to play, we don't know what you're going to do yet, and so until you actually get that opportunity to do precisely what we need you to do, you can go back to working your 9 to 5. And her 9 to 5 is not just being like a lifeguard apparently, but also to just basically tell people and guide people all over the place at the People of the Springs neighborhood. So that, I think, is just really cool. It just keeps her grounded. And so that character design, I like a lot. One thing also to note about Mualani is that her exploration passive is actually pretty damn strong in Natlan specifically, because compared to someone like Kachina, well, Mualani can actually sprint on her surfboard while you're actually moving around with her, so being able to move around a little bit faster, I think is actually pretty nice. Of course, when you're outside of Natlan and therefore you don't have access to things like Phlogiston, I don't think she's actually all that great. At that point, I would probably stick to Shen Yun or Yalan. But when you're in Natlan, oh, she's dominating at the present moment. I think Shillanen might be able to sprint? I don't know. But Shillanen and Kachina will have the added bonus of being able to climb up walls. So there is that. Mualani can go on water. Shillanen and Kachina can go up walls. So that's still pretty good. The dynamic and I guess the balance of traversal is still very much in play. Alright, let's talk about Mualani's playstyle in combat. So obviously, for those who don't know, Mualani is a Hydro Mage, and it seems like she's leaning into forward vape reactions. Now, forward vaping DPSs are pretty interesting, not just because it's kind of an underutilized reaction, but because we kind of already have someone who can forward vape quite a fair bit, and that is of course Neuvillette. When Neuvillette first came out, I actually developed a team around him that was able to make him forward vape a fair bit, of course with Nahida at the higher, so that was, of course, was really, really nice. But he kind of was just tangentially forward vaping every so often. Mualani leans into that, because not only are we talking about hydro damage at very long, well not very long, but like at long enough intervals for Pyro to come back, but also no ICD hydro attacks that do a lot of damage as well. So when you're playing Mualani, one of the things you will notice is the gigantic serotonin boost with the damage per screenshots that come from Mualani's damage. We're talking 100,000 damage, 200,000 damage, 300,000 damage. Ooh, we like that a lot. And look, DPS wise, I think from like clear times and all that jazz, she's not clearing things necessarily as quickly as some of my other teams like Aloy teams, Cloran teams, Neuvillette teams, etc, etc, etc. But if you can still get your 36 stars in Spiral Abyss, and you can do that while seeing those serotonin inducing numbers, I think that's a pretty good trade-off. Okay, speaking of teams, let's talk about Mualani's teams. So when it comes to Abyss in particular, the team that I have been finding the most success with is a burn vape team involving the Haya. So specifically Yaoyao, Nahida, and the Haya. When you have Yaoyao, Nahida, and the Haya, this team is actually, in my opinion, quite reliable. But without Yaoyao specifically, this team kind of doesn't end up being that reliable because the Haya's off-field Pyro app requires enemies to get hit. And the problem is, sometimes things just line up a little bit too annoyingly where I end up with enemies that don't have Pyro, and the only way to give them any Pyro is to hit them with Mualani's Shark, and that's a little bit annoying because I want to vape every single one of Mualani's hits. So that's where Yaoyao kicks in. Her continuous off-field Dendro damage through Yugui, obviously it's not a lot of Dendro damage unless you've actually built DPS Yaoyao, but her continuous Dendro damage is enough to trigger the highest field, which just makes it significantly more reliable. Now, an alternative to this team, and this is something that I've been playing a little bit more overworld as opposed to in Abyss, is either a burn vape team or an actual vape team with Shen-Yan. And that's really one of the other reasons why I decided to get Mualani, because, oh, you mean to tell me you can actually play Shen-Yan? Finally? Legitimately? Without, like, trying to go whole ham into physical Shen-Yan memes? Sign me up. Sounds good to me. And I've been really enjoying the Shen-Yan teams. Not only are the Shen-Yan teams kind of goated against multi-wave enemies or multiple enemies that are like at least clumped up well enough that you can actually hit them both, at least two of them, with Shen-Yan skill and therefore get the full shield. But also, one thing that should be noted about Shen-Yan is that she has a C2 where her ult has 100% crit rate no matter what. Which means the way I've built Shen-Yan is full defense, husk, as much ER in the substats as possible, and Fab. And you may be thinking, wait, no crit rate. And you're still using Fab? Again, that's where that C2 comes in, and it's really, really nice. We're here with Mualani and Masanori, and this is basically one of those teams that I would play with Shen-Yan. So, I really like this kind of team. So we'll get that EM boost.
Written in the stars. Let's ride.
Big tick damage. Just like that. Just like that. Shen-Yan's ult is back. Mona's ult is back. Ah! That's what I missed! That's what I missed again! Oh my god. We're here with Mualani and Masanori. Alright, so this is the kind of team that I like to play with Shen-Yan. Now, this is of course a burn vape team, so it is what it is. And we use Shen-Yan's ult not just to get the Fab proc, but also to get the guaranteed level 3 shield that radiates damage. And we use Mualani's ult. Bang! 300,000 damage just like that. And that is the crux of why Mualani is just so satisfying to play. Of course, one other team that I have been playing a fair bit as well is Mono Hydro, and the funny thing about playing Mono Hydro teams is that on occasion, I feel like Mualani's Shark Attack hits at the very least are doing about as much damage as they would be if they were forward vaping, so it's a bit odd at that point, but I probably still wouldn't recommend it for the time being. That being said though, like a Mualani Zhongli, Kaz, and I don't know, Yalan team, seems to do quite okay for the long run. And then of course when Shillinen comes out, you can swap out Zhongli for Shillinen and that should be pretty fine. Alright, let's talk about how I've built Mualani real quick. I'm right now using for a weapon the Ring of Yaxche. The Ring of Yaxche? Is this the Ring of Lament? I don't know. Let me know in the comments how you pronounce this word because I have no idea at all. But in the meantime, I'm using this weapon. Now, I have tried using Witsits. The Witsits is always a pretty solid weapon regardless. The only thing is that, obviously, there's a 1 in 3 chance you get the attack buff, which is cringe. But the Ring of Yaxche, considering that it is a craftable weapon and it gives HP as well as damage percent, based on the amount of HP that you have. Sounds like a no-brainer to me, in my opinion. So yeah, I've stuck with that right now. I have also tried playing Prototype Amber. Look, I like the premise of it, being able to use Mualani as the healer as well as doing a lot of damage. But right now I haven't really found a use for the additional slot that opens up in the team at the present moment. So yeah, haven't really found a lot of success with that right now. Maybe when Bavawika shows up, maybe that's the kind of character that I need to make that kind of team make a whole lot of sense. And then of course when it comes to artifacts, obviously when 5.0 first dropped, nobody had a working set of Obsidian Codex, so until I had a working set of Obsidian Codex, I've been using the Unfinished Reverie Burning set. And the Unfinished Reverie Burning set, especially one designed for someone like the Hire, for example, has actually been pretty solid. So yeah, no complaints there, but now that I do have a working set of Obsidian Codex, yeah, I think that has been a pretty good way of just boosting my overall opinion of Mualani and her experience playing in the game. And then finally, when it comes to Mualani's constellations, I don't have any of them. And I don't think I will get any of them at the present moment. Obviously, her name is Yaimiko, so there's that. But then also, her banner doesn't have Chevreuse, so I didn't get her constellations for that reason either. And look, I don't even remember what her constellations are. None of them seem too funny to me to stand out right now. So to that extent, I probably won't be bothering with that. That, and also because I want to save my Prima Gems for Shinolan, I'm really considering going for C2 Shinolan as well. So yeah, gotta save my Prima Gems and save my money for that. Alright, and finally, let's address the elephant in the room that I kind of briefly mentioned a little bit earlier. Because Mualani is a Hydro Catalyst DPS character, and she's also HP based, okay, yep, we gotta talk about her versus Neuvillette. Here's the thing. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that Neuvillette and Neuvillette teams just straight up out-damage Mualani and Mualani teams at the present moment. At the present moment, right? So yeah, no surprises there. But what I think Mualani has over Neuvillette is not only does she move around a lot, which I, for one, put great stock in. That's why I think Florand is the best character in the game right now. But on top of that, the serotonin boost of seeing 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 damage on the regular, which, by the way, back in the old days, you'd have to have either C6 Hutao or Eula. And even then, that was occasionally. The fact that we can now see like 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 damage on the regular, yeah, that seems pretty good to me. You know, like, Mualani is designed for the damage per screenshot gooners like myself, and the mobility nerds like myself, to just have a lot of fun with. And look, again, like I said, she can still clear Spiral Abyss and get the 36 stars, provided you have a pretty decent team on the other side, depending on what the Spiral Abyss is. So, considering that I do get that damage per screenshot, oof, yeah, she's still pretty good in that regard. Obviously, I feel more comfortable clearing Spiral Abysses with Neuvillette, but on the other hand, depending on the Spiral Abyss, I don't necessarily need to have any of Neuvillette's teammates on Mualani's team. So to some extent, I suppose you could actually just por qué no los dos and have a great time. So yeah, to that extent, I think even though Mualani doesn't compare at the moment to Neuvillette DPS-wise, I think she's still a pretty solid character. So that's pretty much it. I think at the end of the day, I don't have any real regrets of getting Mualani, and I'm actually quite enjoying her. In fact, I don't even have financial regrets of getting Mualani either, because when Genshin 5.0 dropped, and I actually decided to go and wish for her, I didn't end up spending any additional money on the game, which means I still have all of the first recharges moving into probably 5.1. Because unless Chevreuse shows up on the Kidditch Raiden banner, in which case I might actually go for Raiden Constellations. But either way, for now, no financial regrets whatsoever, and frankly, no regrets at all in getting Mualani. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. How do you feel about Mualani? let me know in the comments. Otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed. If you liked the video, hit that like button, subscribe for more Genshin Impact action, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.